Hi there, my name is Erica Bariga. I'm a watercolor illustrator, painter, and I teach how to watercolor paint as well. And right now, I want to let you know that the fall launch for the Playful Painter Art Club is open, and it's open from October 10th to October 24th. Basically, if you want to learn how to watercolor paint and you're confused, you're curious, you're intimidated, and you don't know where to start, the art club is for you. We'll go over the supplies you need, how to use those supplies, painting techniques, and color theory so you can build a strong foundation to learn on your creative watercolor journey. So go to fluximagery.com/join to find out more about it, and would love to see you inside of Art Club. So today we're going to go over watercolor basics and the core techniques you need to know for watercolor painting. Loading your brush is something that you start with. So you have your water right here. You have your brush. This is a round brush. It is a size 4. So when you have your paints, they look like this. They can be squeezed out from tubes onto a palette just like this, or they can be you can buy them already dried, and they're in little squares. So you have a little square which is called a half pan, or a rectangle that is a full pan. And all you do is just activate the paint with the water on your brush. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to take some of this olive green and mix in here with my wet brush. And then I take it onto my palette or a ceramic palette like this and just mix in here. That way you can add water to it or add more paint, but you just have it away and you're able to actually mix. Because if you just dipped right into your paint, it would be fully loaded with paint. And the beauty of watercolor is the transparency, being able to see through it, getting those really light layers and having that flexibility of having it be super dark or super light or somewhere in between. So then you just take your brush right here, it's not dripping or anything like that, and you can use a zigzag approach, so like windshield wipers going back and forth, up and down. And that gives you a flat wash. I got a little bit of paintbrush bristle in there. Don't touch it, just wait until it's dry, and then you can just rub your finger on top and get that brush hair out of there. So that's a flat wash, and that's how you can load your brush. Now we're going to do a wet into wet technique. So here, using my palette right here, so you can use a section of your palette already. So here's some more olive green, and I'm taking that and I'm going to put that down here onto my paper. Another pretty flat wash right there. But now I'm going to drop some different paint in there. So I'm going to change up the color just a little bit, and I'm mixing this, I think it's Hooker's green, into my puddle. And now I'm just taking this and I'm going to drop it into that flat wash, and that's wet into wet. So you can drop it in, you can come to another side, and since that's wet, I actually spread even more paint in there, so you can get different techniques of drops or just a blend. So there's that. I'm going to do that again. It's super fun. I'm going to add some turquoise, and not fully mixing your paint is a really great way to get variety in what you're painting. So I'm going here and I'm taking this turquoise and olive green and hooker's green, and I'm going to put that down. And I have my wet wash right there. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab some more of that different mix, more of the green, and I'm going to drop that in. And I'm going to put my brush inside and lightly mix it together right there. So that's wet into wet. Another technique is called glazing, and that's when you actually paint on top of something that you've already painted onto the paper. So you're getting to see those layers, and it really pops when you add some color theory to it. So if you have yellow and blue make green. So if I went and had a yellow, a wash of yellow on my paper, let that dry, and then I went over it with blue, those areas that they intersect will be green because of that color theory. So it's really fun. You can actually do that. I'm going to grab some of my yellow, and here's what happens when you put it directly onto the paper. It's pretty thick, very vibrant, because you don't have a whole bunch of water in there to dilute it. In watercolor, the white of your paper is the white. You could add acrylic or gouache, different types of paints that are white, but truly in watercolor painting, the white is your paper. So having that translucency, that transparency is the best part of watercolor painting. So I'm just going to dry this. Okay, it's very dry. Now I'm going to take some blue, take my cerulean blue, mix that in here. The more water, the lighter it is. Okay, so I'm going to actually go over this in another wash. Just on top. So another rectangle just on top. I'm not trying to disturb the paint that's underneath very much. And you can see with it overlapping like that, the top is blue, where it overlaps it's green, and then the bottom is yellow. And that's called glazing. So I'm going to dry that. And one more thing that is a really core technique for watercolor painting is to really get familiar and comfortable with soft edges and hard edges. So when we painted this, this was earlier, but when I painted this, you can see this has a really hard edge because this is where I started and I didn't blend it out at all. I just put down the paint, but then I blended it out coming to the right. And here's where it gets really soft. You can barely see the edge of this wash right here. And that is a hard edge and a soft edge. And once you get down the techniques, the basics, it's just like learning the alphabet. Once you get the core fundamentals down, it's really easy to build on top of that and really find your style and work onto more complex pieces of art and explore and grow more confidence, because you know what's going to happen. You can anticipate what's going to happen most of the time when you're experimenting and trying things and asking yourself, what if I add this color? What if I blend this out? What if I don't wait until this is fully dry and I just add in a little bit of color right here? What's going to happen? You have an idea, but you're still surprising yourself. And that all comes from taking your time and learning the basics. So let's review. You learned how to load your brush with your watercolor paints. You learned how to make a gradient from color to color. You learned how to do a flat wash where you don't see a whole bunch of texture going on. And here, I can just rub that brush bristle out of there. So you have a flat wash where you don't have a lot of texture, and it's just doesn't have any variations in value. It's not darker in some places or lighter in some places, just very even. And then we did wet into wet, and you can see how that dried really pretty. It's just really subtle, the color changes and how soft that is when you work from wet into wet. And then with the glazing, waiting until something's completely dry and then going over it and building it up and seeing what happens with those different layers. It's just so beautiful. Such a beautiful part of watercolor painting. And then you have the soft edges and the hard edges. The hard edge right here and the soft edges here. So have so much more to show you inside of Art Club. I think you would really enjoy it. Please check it out. It's the Playful Painter Art Club. The doors are open right now from October 10th to October 24th. You can come in, enroll, and join us. And it's really, really fun. You're going to go from unsure to confident really quickly by learning watercolor basics and beyond, as well as fun projects that will really have you surprise yourself. They're really fun to do and easy to fit into a busy schedule. All right, I will talk to you later. See you in the next one. Bye. Oh, fluximagery.com/join is the website. Thank you. Bye.